7 seals. Also, by the way, let's go with... I haven't decided. I've been thinking about it. Should we rank these based on finding them in the angel room or just in general? That's tricky. Can we zoom in a little bit? Sure can. How's that? Just go off angel room? Yeah, I'm thinking that. Let's just assume all of these are in an angel room, because some things get way more useful if you find them outside of an angel room, like the body. The body is like ridiculously goated if you find it in like basement. But if you're finding it in an angel room, it's awful. So it's kind of tricky to... So definitely take these rankings with a grain of salt. Also, this is only for Eden streaking. I'm not taking anything else into account. Only Eden streaking. So let's go with this guy in... I'll go B tier. This is one of the stronger familiars. In fact, maybe even A. This is such a strong familiar. I'll leave it in B for now, but I could be convinced to move this up for sure. Act of Contrition, I love this item. I don't think it's quite A tier though. This item is so good. Just being able to take double items afterwards gives you so much freedom. The problem is, if you're playing your angel rooms correctly, you really should never be seeing double rooms. So that is pretty niche actually. It's better if you're not taking your key pieces, but you should always be taking your key pieces. If you're going angel and you're not taking at least one key piece, you're just doing it wrong. And no, we're not going to rank within tiers. We're just going to go in order. I usually never rank within tiers. It takes too long. All right. How about this guy? This guy is super niche. He usually does nothing. Sometimes you get like an insanely goated build, like with like duct tape or something, where it's just ridiculous, but usually this is a pretty mid-angel item. I'm definitely not going to say it's bad. In fact, man, I don't even think we need D or F. What would go down there? We'll see. These might be empty. I might have added F tier for no reason. Blood of the Martyr, I mean, it's just good. Damage is always really good. Book of Virtues, S tier, obviously. This is the best book. Well, is it the best book? It's top 3. Satanic Bible is probably the best, and then Book of Revs is probably better than this. But this is insanely good. This does the same thing as Act of Contrition, kind of, where you can take devil deals and you can still get angel rooms, and this increases angel chance by itself, without you having, like, you can get the key piece and this, and they'll stack together, and you can still have the key piece for rolling later, so you get the full benefit with still having a key piece to roll. Super good. Breath of Life is easy S tier after the rework. If you haven't used Breath of Life after it's gotten reworked, you need to give it a new chance, because it does ridiculous DPS. This thing can solo carry your DPS, and it lets you play Blood Donos for free very quickly now because it charges very fast. They buffed the charge speed. And curse rooms, just general iframes. I don't think it prevents bad trip damage, so you can't use it for that, but it does pretty much everything else. Like, this is one of the most versatile active items in the entire game. Easy S tier. Celtic Cross, ooh. I really like this. I think it goes B tier though. It's not insanely good. I do like it a lot, but I think it goes in the B tier. Censor. Censor depends on the boss you're going to. If you're going to, like, Blue Baby, this thing is fine. But if you're going to, like, Beast, this thing is awful. I'll put it in C tier. I'm not going to put it too low, but you have to think about what you're doing on your run before you take this. It's super situational. I'll leave it in C tier, though, because a lot of the time it's very good, especially in the mid-game, but it can completely ruin your entire run. So, leave that in C tier. This, I'll go in B tier. Very good. What about Crown of Light? I mean, this has to be S, right? Or is it A? This is tricky. This is a tricky one. S, A? Yeah, I don't know. S? I'm leaning towards A. The fact that it gives 2 soul hearts is insane, though. Easy S? I love that it gives 2 soul hearts, but I don't know if it belongs up here with these. It's good if you're good. Uh-huh. Easy. Well, I guess I'm not good. I guess I am not good at the game then. Dead Dove, easy A tier. Just Flight and Spectral. I believe this is part Seraphim too, isn't it? That's good. Dead Sea Scrolls. I think these belong in C tier. I mean, well, if we're talking in the context of an angel room. Because normally this is quite good, but if you're seeing this like after your first angel room, maybe it's D tier. I don't know if it's bad enough to go D tier. They are quite good. If you open an angel room and get Dead Sea Scrolls, how sad are you? I mean, probably, I kind of am equally sad to get these. I think I'd rather have Dead Sea Scrolls than these, usually. Maybe not Censor if I'm going to Blue Baby. I'm putting this in C tier. This thing is decent. If you're using it right, but you don't take it ever for the teleport, I mean, the teleport can put you in, like, the curse room, but usually it's fine. It can't really hurt you. The worst thing this can do is, like, Book of Revs. But usually that's fine. I mean, it's just a soul heart. Delirious is F tier. Okay, not F tier. This thing is sometimes useful. If you don't have an active and you need DPS, this can be a boss killer. This is not F tier. No, this is not F tier. No F tier, nope. This thing is not... This thing is very bad. It's probably the worst angel item. But it's not that bad. I don't think there's going to be anything in the F tier, actually. We could just delete it. I don't know why I added it. We'll just delete it. Divine Intervention. Low-key A? Yeah, I mean, I think putting this in A is fine. This is the active. The follower is here. Little Delirium. Yeah, I think putting this in A is fine. This thing is crazy good. It can, like... It can't solo carry your DPS, sadly, just because you need to be very close to the enemy, and that's not always safe, but it's always good to have if you remember to use it. I think it's better than all of these. How about Duality? Ooh, I'll put Duality A. I don't think Duality is bad enough to go down here. Yeah, Duality is pretty great. Oh my god. Fuck this shit. This thing is garbage. This thing is literal garbo. The fact that you have to leave the angel room and then go into another angel room to use it is so bad. Because you really don't want to be using this in a secret room, generally. 2 pedestals for a secret room is not consistent enough to be better than like an angel room, or even curse room. You would rather use this in curse room than secret room with 2. For sure. It's just so trash that you need to get into another angel room afterwards and give up your active item if you had one. This thing is insanely niche. This might be D tier. I'll be real. Nah, it's better than Delirious, but this thing is garbo. Eucharist is easy S, obviously. There's more angel rooms, it's always good. Genesis, I hate this thing. I never use this thing. Genesis is garbage, because as far as Eden Streaking goes, if you use Genesis, you can get TM Trainer as your spawn item, or you could just be weaker. I mean, generally you're not going to be weaker, you're only going to be using Genesis if you're going to die, or something. If you're Eden Streaking, you should never use this for fun, because you can be weaker, or you could start with TM Trainer, or something worse. Missing No is also quite bad, but manageable. This thing is terrible, but the fact that it can save you completely if you go the wrong way or you're on a weak run, this is an always take easy S tier, generally. Like, if I'm on a strong run, I always take this in case I needed to save myself. if I like go the wrong way. But I will never, ever, ever, ever use this. So if we're talking how much I use it, this is like the worst angel item in the game, but it's always take. Glyph of Balance is easy S tier. This thing is insane if you know how to use it. If you've fulfilled all the criteria, like you have 5 bombs, 5 keys, 15 cents, yada yada yada, all that stuff. You can farm soul hearts. Every time it procs, it'll drop a soul heart if you have fewer than 6 health total. So you can sit at 5.5 hearts and then just farm soul hearts, and you can sacrifice and stuff with them, and you don't need to pick up the soul hearts. You can just put a ton of them on the ground and then pick them up and see what you need to do with them. And then if you don't want to farm soul hearts anymore, you can farm trinkets. Just drop your trinket and then it'll drop trinkets constantly. This thing is insane, and it gives 2 soul hearts instantly, which is nuts. Easy S. Godhead S tier, obviously. This guy is going to be C tier. Doesn't do a whole lot. Habit. I'll put Habit in B tier. Habit's decent. Sometimes it's really good, but it's a little bit niche. I mean, I say it's niche, but if you have any active item, this is always good. Especially any active item you would be carrying. I'm putting this in B tier. I don't care. This thing sucks. Hallowed Ground. Every time I use this, I realize more and more how bad it is. Like, it lets you play blood donos for cheaper, which is nice. Like, you can put down the poop and then sit on the blood dono in the aura to sometimes not take damage. But like, that helps a little bit, but it's not that good. Mostly this is just gonna like push things when you don't want it to. Or like block doorways with curse rooms. Like, this can just do goofy shit. I almost want to put this D tier, and I will. This thing is terrible. This is... I would probably say this is worse than Delirious. I don't know. This is one of the worst angel items, easily. It's so bad. Is Holy Grail B tier? Light and Health. This is like low A, I would say. C tier? No way. I would say this is like low A tier. This can come in clutch if you need the health. Seriously. I mean, health and flight, that's just good. It doesn't do anything for your DPS, but this can keep you alive. I would say this is better than most of these, especially when you need it. This is definitely going to be like on the lower end of A tier, but definitely very good. Holy Light. I want to put it S tier, but if I'm putting this in A tier, then I don't know if it deserves it. A is fair? Yeah, like if I'm putting this A tier, I don't think Holy Light deserves it. Yeah, Holy Light is very good, for sure. Holy Mantle S tier, obviously. Holy Water is overrated. It's crazy. It's crazy to say this item is so overrated. Like, it's good, but it's not nearly as good as people say it is. It's really surprising to me, actually. I don't know how this thing got so overrated. Like, people will just sing this thing's praises constantly, when it's really not good. Definitely belongs in B tier, though. Like, if I had to pick between Holy Water and 7 Seals, that's tough. I would probably usually pick 7 Seals, especially if like 7 Seals is just better general DPS. This is better like utility for Blue Baby and Isaac, since I always go chest. They're pretty comparable. It's kind of situational which one I would take. We'll put that B tier. Immaculate Conception is easy A tier. So the Angelic Familiars are pretty bad overall, but the fact that this gives you soul hearts for picking up soul hearts is pretty nice. Like, you can farm HP pretty easily, especially if you're like sacrificing. This is way worse than Cambion Conception. But I love that this drops soul hearts for you, just for picking up health, including red health. Like, you can just play blood donos and then pick up soul hearts, or the red hearts, and then it'll give you familiars and soul hearts. I think this belongs in A tier. It's kind of low A though. Like, I could see this going in B tier. But yeah, way worse. If you're comparing this to Cambion Conception, Cambion is way better. Even though that doesn't give soul hearts, the devil familiars are so much better overall. The best ones are like the Relic and Seraphim. Other than that, they're pretty bad. It's mainly for the soul hearts. Immaculate Heart, I'll go A tier. For sure. Jar of Wisps is honestly a D tier. Jar of Wisps, man. This thing is so bad. It's crazy. See? Nah. I mean, we're talking Eden streaking here specifically. This is not C tier. You have to commit so hard to do anything. Even if you're using this the entire run, getting all those wisps, like, there's some, like, unless you literally get nothing, it's so unlikely that this is going to be your best option. I think it belongs in D tier. Lazrags, S tier. I mean, come on. It's an extra life. And I'm pretty sure this, after the Lazarus rework, I think this gives you an extra life every single floor. Extra lives are just S tier easy for Eden streaking. You almost always take this unless you need the power from something else up here. Extra lives are just insane priority as far as Eden streaking goes. So yeah, easy S tier. Little Delirium, I will put in B tier. I like Little Delirium. I think he's good. He has insane potential if you're patient enough. Like if you're waiting for a strong familiar in between every room, this is like A tier. But typically you're not going to do that because it's not worth the time investment. But I mean, he's still good. Most familiars are very strong in this game. It's just there's a couple you have to watch out for. But generally they're not too problematic. I really like Little Delirium, I'll be real. Miter, S tier, obviously. Monstrance will go A tier. This is like one of the best forms of contact damage, kind of. Because it works in a big radius around yourself, and if you get very close, it does a ton of damage. So if you have anything that is good with contact damage, this is just insane. The candle... You're gonna hate me. I don't think this belongs in A tier. I think this is as good as these. There's a couple of these that I would take over the candle, like, most of the time. I don't think it's as good as anything up here. Besides maybe this, if you don't need the health. Or the flight. The candle just, I don't know. Doesn't do that much. Like, you gotta think of it from my perspective. Typically, I want items that do a lot when I'm weak. And this does very little when I'm weak. This does very little when I'm weak. It gives 2 soul hearts, which is nice. But I would rather have like any of these, because these do a lot when I'm weak. Even this, like just the full heal, heart container, damage, orbiting tears, like this does a lot if you're weak. And all of these are just game winning if you're weak. But this does very little, I'm sorry. I don't think it belongs in A tier. Prayer card is pretty bad. Prayer card's one of those that you like need to find outside of an angel room to be useful. Because typically you don't really want heart containers if you're going angel. Yeah, definitely gonna go C tier. I don't think it's bad enough to go D tier, but pretty bad. Purgatory is A tier easily. This scales off of your damage, which makes it a little sad if you're weak, but it's still reliable DPS, and it's really strong AoE, because like the AoE kind of persists and kills things that, like if an enemy spawns a bunch of other enemies, it'll just, all the little dudes will die because the hitbox kind of persists. Yeah, definitely A tier there. Revelation S tier, obviously. Flight, soul hearts, insane damage. Super good. I'm gonna put Rosary A tier. 3 soul hearts and tears, and it makes you get the Bible. And I'm of the opinion getting the Bible from this is not a downside, it's an upside, because both of them are part Seraphim. So you're gonna get even more health if you just get one more Seraphim piece outside of these. More health and flight. I think this thing is insane. I'll be real. 3 soul hearts on pickup is ridiculous. Absurd. Sacred Art S tier, obviously. Sacred Orb. Dude, this is such a tricky one to rank. Like, I don't know. It's pretty good. Does it belong S tier though? It's so hard for me to like figure out how good this item is. I'll be real. Like how good it actually is, how much it's actually doing for me. On a weak run especially. Like on a weak run, would I rather see this than any of this stuff? Probably not, honestly. I almost want to put this A tier. Because this does nothing for you immediately. You need to see other items. And if you're not going to live long enough for that, then it's just terrible. I don't know. I think it goes A tier. I don't think this is quite S tier. It doesn't do enough for you on pickup to be up here with these. All of these, right when you pick them up, they're like instantly winning you the game. But not this. What about this? The fish. Is this A tier? I feel like if I'm putting monstrance, I like monstrance better than the fish, but this is very good. This is like, as far as DPS goes, this is probably like the best form of just close contact damage. It's pretty ridiculous. Like, it's up there with like butt knife and stuff. It's just more consistent with butt knife. This probably stays A tier. This is quite good. I don't know. I could be convinced this goes in B tier. I'm not in love with the fish, but I do like it quite a bit. Especially because on Eden, you're playing a lot of blood donos and all that. So this is going to become very big. And even if you get a little bit of size on this, it's just doing so much for you. This thing, I can't even remember the name. Like this is insane if you get it early, but usually, like if you're getting it from an angel room, it's not gonna do anything for you. It's too late. You need to get this, like, you almost need to spawn with this on Eden for it to do anything, so you can like sacrifice. I think this is C tier, maybe D. Scapular, okay, yeah. Like I like scapular, but like seeing it from an angel room, it does nothing. I think it's D tier. This is sad, but yeah. It's way too niche. Seraphim, easy A tier. I mean, this is like one of the best familiars in the entire game. Soul Locket, I'll put B tier. I don't think it's quite good enough to be A tier, but every time I have Soul Locket, it just hard carries my stats. I'll be real. This thing is like actually ridiculous. It feels like it should be doing less than it does, but every single time I get this thing, it just gives me a million stats. It's insane. It hard carries my run. I don't know if it belongs up in A tier though. It feels like it doesn't, but I could be wrong about that. It could belong up here. I'll put it in B tier for now. Spear, definitely B tier, I think. I don't know if it belongs up here. Is it better than fish though? Kind of is. Like, if I'm weak and I see fish and spear in the same room, which one am I taking? I'm usually taking spear. Unless I have some like niche thing like unicorn stump or something like that. Either salvation needs to move down or this is moving up. Because this is just better. Seriously. Not as good as salvation, you'd say? I disagree. I hard disagree. The spear is actually... Every time I have the spear, it feels like whenever I pick it up, I'm like, okay, whatever. I just kind of brush it off. But then it does so much, especially in like Mausoleum, where in Mausoleum, a lot of the time you can like stand diagonally from something and it just has the perfect reach to hit stuff. Yeah. I don't know if we're moving this down or moving this up. I think we're moving this up. This belongs up here. This thing is pretty crazy as far as DPS. Easy A, I gotta agree, honestly. I'm surprised. I didn't think I would put this that high, but thinking about it, it does so much. It's just big enough that it is crazy useful. Spear Sword S tier. I hate this thing, but if you're weak, like, this is just the ultimate thing to win you the entire run by itself. It's like the knife of Angel Rooms, basically. It can just solo the entire run. Star, dude, I would put Star in S before. The more I've used Star, the less I like it. Is it S? I feel like it is, but I don't know. The more I've used it, the worse I feel like it is. I don't know. I'll leave it in S. I might put this in A, though. I'm still kind of changing my opinion on this thing. Stigmata is fine. I usually don't even take this, I'll be real. Unless I desperately need the health, I almost never take this. I just leave it. I don't think it's as bad as these, though. Because at least when you need it, it does something. That little bit of HP. We'll leave it there. What about Swarm Protector? Does Swarm Protector belong down here? He drops Eternal Hearts if he sucks up enough bullets, and he sucks up bullets. Like, that's pretty good. I don't think he belongs down here. I think he's better than all of these. Let's Sworn Protector up here, the B tier. Post this on any Isaac community, little bro. I don't know about that, man. I don't want everyone to hate me. They hate me because I'm right. How about the Bible? This is a tricky one, because this is just transformation fodder. Like, you're never quite sad to see this in an Angel Room, because it's helping you. But it's not helping you immediately, it's helping you later, because of the transformations. This is probably C tier. Pretty bad. Also, where's Book of Revelations? What the hell? This is not an updated list. Breath of Life over Sacred Orb would drive them nuts. Or Crown of Light, yeah. You think this is B tier? I can see it. But yeah, where's Book of Revs? What the hell? This list is not real. Get a different list. Is this a Book of Revs? I swear Book of Revs is an Angel Room now, isn't it? These aren't updated. Also, where's Jesus Juice? Yeah, these are not updated. They added Jesus Juice, Book of Revs. What else did they add? Shoot, I don't remember what they added. There was one other item, I thought. Was it Stigmata? It's right here, though. Weird. But yeah, this is not an updated list, actually. The body... Gotta go C tier. The body is garbage. If you're seeing this in an Angel Room, you are... I mean, if you're desperate, it's nice. But seriously, I never pick this shit up. Are you kidding me? I probably... In the same situation, I would pick up Stigmata, I would pick up this. Except probably less often, because this at least gives a tiny bit of damage. This thing is so bad. I hate this thing. Halo? Come on, guys. Halo is bad. It's not good. It's not even good. It gives no stats. It gives like 0.2 speed, which is nice, and a heart container. Come on. Look at the stats. It's doing nothing. Come on. This doesn't even belong at B tier. I'd rather have any of these than this shit. Come on, please. Open your damn eyes. Anyway, the Mind. I like the Mind. I want to put it A tier, but it's probably B. It's not that good. Like, in terms of how convenient this is and how much I like it, I would put it A tier easily, but in terms of how useful it is, I think it's B. Honestly, it's not doing that much for you. It's saving you a couple bombs every floor, which is good. But, I don't know. And in the late game, it's making sure you go the right way. So if you're weak, that can help, but typically that's not gonna matter. And especially if you're like good at figuring out the map. Like if you've played this game a good amount of the time, you're gonna get a general sense of where the boss is most of the time. Not always, for sure. You can easily go the wrong way. But like, in terms of how much this is actually doing for you, I feel like I would rather have any of these if I need it. But this is it's definitely high B tier. Like this is better than almost everything here, I would say. Relic. Ooh. Ooh. Is this S tier? Relic is S tier, right? I mean, yeah. It's gotta be. It's gotta be S tier. I mean, this is the best Angel Familiar, isn't it? If you don't count Star of Bethlehem as an Angel Familiar. This is the best one. It's so good. It just drops soul hearts every few rooms. That's goated. You've noticed I don't value mapping as much as others. You actually agree with me? You should be full clearing until late game anyways. Yeah. Mapping is just for convenience. If you're struggling and you need something, you're not going to be going for the mapping. You need to keep your priorities straight. The soul is A tier. It gives, what, 2 soul hearts when you pick it up, and it makes projectiles, like, go away from you. Pretty good. Especially the 2 soul hearts on pickup. Like, you're usually happy to see this. I feel like this belongs up here with these. Stairway, this is the best angel item. Like, hands down. This is the best one. You could argue that it doesn't do enough for you right when you pick it up, but I would disagree because you're instantly getting that angel shop right on the next floor, which is always going to have like a soul heart or an eternal heart, and it's going to have that beggar that you can blow up to increase your angel chance. And if you have the money, it's just angel items. I honestly think this is the best one. In terms of Eden streaking, maybe Genesis is better because it's the ultimate safety net. Like, if you go the wrong way, it'll save you. Kind of. I mean, not always. Like, if you go to hell instead of heaven, and you need to go to chest for your streak or whatever, then I guess this won't save you. But, I mean, seriously, Stairway just raw power-wise, this thing is nuts. Absolutely insane. Ooh. Safer? If you asked me like a year ago, I would put this S tier. But I don't know. Because it doesn't do anything for you unless you're sacrificing until womb. And then it just carries you. But if you're not going to survive to womb, I don't know. And even then, like, it's helping you a ton, but it's not giving you any power. I don't think this belongs in S tier, guys. I'll be real. Like, I would almost rather have Lazrags sometimes. Because Lazrags will just save you. Lazarus respawns with like 1 heart, but an extra life goes so far. This is tricky. This could definitely go S tier. I'll put it at like high A tier though. The shield, pretty bad. But it's not that bad. It's definitely not C tier. But it really doesn't do much for you. Obviously, if you're going against like some very tiers-based end bosses, it's doing a lot for you if you're aiming the shield correctly. But really, overall, it's not doing that much for you. Trisagion, I'll put this A tier. This thing is crazy. I don't think it's S tier, but this thing is kind of crazy. Where'd I put Purity? Oh, Purity was the other one that's not here. I knew there was a third item. Maybe a fourth. Because, yeah, Jesus Juice isn't here. Book of Revs isn't here. And, Purity isn't here. Where'd I put Purity? We'll rank those in a sec. I'll, like, hypothetically rank those. Urn is S tier. Come on. Come on. This is easy S. This thing can solo carry your entire run. Such an easy S tier. Made retro? I don't even know what this shit does, I'll be real. Like, what the fuck is this? I'm just kidding. Is this A tier? It's really good. I just feel like usually there's better things I would rather have in my active slot. I almost never ever take this or keep this for long. But maybe it's A tier. I don't know. This is a tricky one. It doesn't help that I have no idea what the hell this does. What does this do? I don't even know. Void. I hate Void so much. I hate this item. It's really good though. It's probably S tier. I mean, in Angel Rooms though, it's kind of annoying because like you see it in the Angel Room, and if you have an active, you either need to decide to take Void and then void your active item or leave it immediately. Versus like seeing Void outside the Angel item, you can kind of like, okay, I'm gonna void this garbage in the shop and then get my active item back for the stats or whatever. If you're seeing it in an Angel item, it's an Angel Room. Yeah, it's very much like you have to commit to it or not right then and there, which is super awkward. I'm gonna put this A tier. I don't think it belongs to S, but it is insanely good. The fact that it lets you take blind items is crazy. The ability to take blind items safely is just absurd. I would say this is worse than like a black rune just because of where it goes. Because usually if you're just using it for blind items, which a lot of the time with Void, that's all I'm doing with it. I'm just using it for blind items. I'm very rarely voiding things for stats unless it's like key pieces. That is a benefit of going Angel and getting this, by the way. You can void the key pieces after you get the first one. It's just free stats, which is cool. But yeah. I'd almost rather have a black rune as far as that goes, just because the black rune, all I need to be doing is holding it and maybe using it one time. This has a little bit of extra use, but it goes in such a worse slot that it's kind of rough to put this in S tier. Add additional images. I should do that. We change this really quick. Let me download. Okay, so what's missing? Purity is missing. You need to download images and then add them. Purity, Book of Revs, Jesus Juice. It's only those three? Okay. Okay. Yeah? Okay, cool. Thanks. We're doing this for real. Then Jesus Juice. Isaac. Oh God, I don't even see an image for it. Wait, here we go. Okay. All right. We add these. Yes. Aha. All right. I got it. They're here. They're here. Okay. Jesus Juice. Probably C. Like, I would almost rather have Stigmata for the health. But if you don't need the health, this is better. It's comparable. I think this belongs C tier. Dude, putting Halo down here feels so funny, but I'm doing it. I don't care. Book of Revs, S tier, obviously. This is like one of the best books. I would say this is a better book than this. Overall. And Purity? Where does Purity go? It's going B tier or A tier? I think it's going B tier, I'll be real. I mean, it has the same problem as the candle for me. Where, if you need it, it's not doing that much for you. But, I would rather have this than the candle for sure. Because the candle needs to ramp up again. This is just instantly maxed again. It's just, it only has like a 50% chance of giving you what you want. But a lot of the time the speed is good, I'll be real. So it's like 3 out of 4 are insanely good. I don't know if this belongs down here with these. Like this is, compared to this, it's so much better. I almost want to put it A tier. Because, like, yeah, if you get the damage, it's just instant, like, 4 or 5 damage. Like 4 point something, right? Which is so crazy. 2 tier rate. I'll put it A tier. I think A tier is fine. All right. I think this is looking pretty good. That is my complete tier list. Specifically for Eden streaking, I'll say again. This is only for, like, top level Eden streaking. You're insanely good at the game. And you see this list of items in an angel room. What would you be most likely to pick? That's why Lazrags is so high. Like, this item is mid as hell, but it's an extra life. An extra life is just ridiculously high priority for Eden streaking. Like, literally, I would only not take this if I was so weak that I needed one of these other things. Otherwise, this is just the ultimate thing to, like, take to make your build safer. But yeah. Purity Believers, when they get 3 range 4 times in a row. Yeah, getting range from that is pretty rough, but usually it's going to be doing quite a bit for you, actually. Yeah. Feels funny putting this in A tier and this in S tier, but I'm sticking with it. I stand by it.